I'm here with Shatabdi Bhattacharjee, the principal of Newtown School. Uh, Ma'am, when we enter the school, the first thing we see on the left are the pictures with so many artists and sports players, which clearly means that your school promotes these things in a big way. Can you tell your thought behind that?
Well, we always felt that there has to be a right balance between the so-called core academics and sports and the music and performing arts. So all these have to strike a right balance. Like we don't believe them to be co-curriculars as they mostly say in all schools. We believe that they are part of the main curriculum. And we also believe that unless and until a child is musically inclined or inclined towards sports, a child wouldn't really have a mind to focus on his studies also. Even if you talk in terms of performing well in academics, that can only be happening if the child pursues some activity apart from academics, like they say, all work and no play. So that's something we believe strongly, because we've always seen a child who's focused in games or any kind of music or art. They have a different kind of a focus than any other child whatsoever.
So the sports, arts, and all of this is closely integrated with the
It's
curriculum.
actually a part of the curriculum. They cannot be different. I mean, you can't say, sports and music and fine arts, they are separate from studies. That can never happen. Well, I mean, people in the past have always proved it. Albert Einstein himself had been such a beautiful violin player. So, and he always said that music would always give him better ideas to venture further.
Well, we have so many young kids playing here at the age of
Yeah,
10 to
yes.
12, and many of them face this problem from their schools that they don't get enough leaves to play in tournament. They have to focus on their education. Nothing of that sort over here. Yeah.
No, no, no. In fact, we give them, if a child comes in to me for a leave for going out for any kind of sporting activities, we happily give the child leave. And if there is an test or some exam, we give them proportionate weightage of marks. They don't even have to reappear for the exam.
That's wonderful. And how do you feel about one of the biggest chess tournaments in India being held in the Newtown School?
Oh, I really feel it's the biggest. It's a platform for us. I mean, we are really honored to host this, because we feel that this would just be the beginning of maybe triggering more and more interest in our students as well, because it's always a gain both ways. I mean, of course, we are hosting it, and in the process, our kids get to know further more about the sport. Because the other day I was having a discussion with a gentleman. He was also into chess, and he was saying that most chess players have been really hyperactive children in their young age, and chess had been a beautiful way to kind of bring their focus back.
Exactly.
And to that's why you would always find them after one move they would keep moving, or they will be tapping their feet or something or the other. They basically have a lot of energy. So this was great news for me. And the other day I was having a session with my class 10 children, and that's exactly what I told them, that unlike common ideas or common views, I mean, chess is always a fantastic way to channelize your energy, which is all hidden inside you. So once again, such a beautiful learning for all of us. Yes.
And there are regular chess classes happening in your school?
We have something called the Saturday Club Mode, which happens over 3 Saturdays in a month, wherein we have students interested in chess who pursue chess under guidance of the Dibyendu Barua Academy.
And do you think after this event, chess could play a much more prominent role?
It should. It ideally should. Yes. I mean, that's why we are planning to promote more of chess. Yes.
And what would be your message to, let's say, the parents in general who are trying all the time to balance between education and sports for their children and are quite ambitious about it? What would you tell to them?
See, first of all, I don't think sports is independent of education, or rather education is independent of sports. It's all in one. I mean, education is not just about degrees, it's also about keeping yourself mentally and physically fit, and what else can do that apart from sports. And for the parents, I would always say that they should be happy if their child is pursuing sports, or is keen to follow sports, or keen to participate in sports, because that's the best way to keep a child away from wrong practices. So if a child is interested in sports, the parent should more and more encourage the child to go for sports. That way the parent would be happy, or at least they would be rest assured that the child wouldn't get into any kind of substance abuse or anything whatsoever, because their focus is already channelized into sports. And that should be a big relief for parents if their child is focused in sports.
That's wonderful. Just final question, I need to ask you this. many of the kids and their parents are thinking about taking a break from education, like leaving academics to pursue sports. What's your take on that? Is it advisable, or you think that schooling is extremely important part of?
You see, schooling is very important because school is not just about academics. School is a fantastic social platform. I mean, it's a small world. So, school teaches a child to adjust to his environment. School teaches a child to be communicative, to be more humble. There are so many values that actually we imbibe from schools. So, I would not say that to abandon schooling and go for sports. I mean, see, there should be a balance. We should strike a balance. Just like abandoning sports and just focusing on academics isn't the healthy practice, similarly abandoning school and only going for sport isn't a healthy practice as well, because a school has a lot to contribute. And to add on to this, I would just want to add something very interesting which I heard from a great personality. She had told me that when, and she's a musician, so she told me that when she was first on stage to perform, and she was performing with a lot of stalwarts, but she said that I never felt jittery and I was very confident on stage, and later on I realized that it's my academic degree that helped me being confident, because being educated with a proper academic degree helps a person to build up on his sense of self-confidence. So academics cannot be independent of sports, and sports cannot be independent of academics.
That's a wonderful message. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
taking out time to talk to us.
Thank you so much.